All right, on the eve of the 2023 season, Maddy Bourque, we're going to have a little setter conversation tonight with Maddy, and long bus ride, but it's been a fun day. We just had a fun dinner, playing games, eating a lot of good food. Maddy, you got any different emotion or different feeling to the start of this season, knowing that this is your senior year than maybe years past?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I would say there's really not a lot of sadness. It's kind of just like, let's go out there and just do what we can. But I'm so excited. And to be doing it with people that I came in with as freshmen is like just amazing. So all excitement.
Of course, season gets started before school. But are you the kind of person that, when you were younger, you remember first day of school, you lay out all your supplies, you get your backpack together, you buy new clothes, that kind of thing. You lay out all the things you're going to take. I mean, is that still kind of, you get all your books organized and everything? Is that kind of you for first day of class?
That is me. And we jump into class and it's like class, weights, practice, this, that. So like as organized as I can be, but that is me. I'm like crazy organizer. Everything needs to be ready to go. And yes.
We have this year, we were talking about it before we got on camera, just a lot of flights. There's a lot of travel. The way our schedule's set for the WAC, when we get to that part of it, will be a lot of trips out west this year. But this was one of maybe our longest bus ride today. You got a favorite thing to do to pass time on the bus? I mean, everybody sleeps or tries to. I don't sleep on the bus, but I mean, but do you have kind of a favorite like go-to all these years when it's like bus ride?
It's always sleep. I can literally like lay there and listen to music and like stare out the window all day. That's honestly what I do. Like I'll just listen to music and stare out the window or read, but it's usually homework if we're in school. But thankfully today we didn't have any homework. So I was just like, wow, 9 hours of listening to music and napping. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I'm dog tired, like probably when we go home, it'll be dark. But like today when we drove during the morning, I can't sleep during stuff like that. Yeah. I want to go back to a funny play that happened in the scrimmage. I don't know if you know what I'm going to bring up. There was a ball that went right to Maddy for third touch during the scrimmage against A&M Commerce, and you back set it over, and all of us that were sitting there watching. I mean, that's kind of got to be the setter instinct, right? Was to play it above your head.
100%. It was my instinct, and it was like coming so fast, and I really had no idea where the net was. So I'm like, if I take this ball and I try to pass it, I could seriously pass it straight into the net, and like I will never live it down from absolutely anyone. So I'm like, my best bet is to just back set the ball, and I back set it, and it like barely went over. I was like, oh, we'll take it.
Yeah. I think the two people we're going to talk to tonight might be two of the only 3 or 4 on the team that would have played that ball that way, but we just all kind of cracked up at that. This is your second year to team up in a 6-2 with Jaden Flynn, and she's younger. This is coming off of a great first freshman year. What are some of the things that you see in her style that are different than you, or what are some of the things that you've seen Jaden grow on during that first year?
I feel like in that first year, she really came in and was like, got with the program right away. And I think just for anyone that comes in, like you come in from high school and club tempo, that's a little bit slower. That's obviously, there's so little like younger age groups like that are playing that fast. So to just like come in and be able to get with that tempo right away, that was something that she did, and that we still work on it as a team. So we're all still working on it every day, just like consistently speeding up the tempo. But yeah, she meshed with us so well just in that aspect. And I feel like that's the biggest difference in the game when you go from high school to club, is just like the speed of it, and also the decision making, which I also think she's been doing a really good job of. And also we continue to work on that and growing it every day also.
One of the things that I said to a few folks at practice tonight as we were on the sideline is, it gives me the impression that the practices that I've seen and just the general demeanor of the team is more fiery earlier in the season than I remember before. I mean, I just felt like the competitiveness that has happened in the few practices that I've seen, and especially tonight, it just seemed like there was an intensity there that oftentimes you see later in the year. Do you feel kind of that early season intensity already?
Yeah, I honestly think from day one I felt it. And even in the summer, we would come in and just compete in our scrimmages, and we just had so much fun. But everyone's high level. Like, no matter who you put out on the court in practice, no matter who's playing against who, like, every game is tight. There's never one side that's winning. And if we play a scrimmage and it's like 25-10, like, no, it is always close. I mean, you saw today, all the games are close, or we're sending each other back to zero. But I love that environment, and it really has been like that since day one of two-a-days. And yeah, especially my first few years here, I don't think it was that like just fun and competitive every single day. But these past 2 years, it has been like that from the get-go, and I love it. It's so fun.
When your time with Lady Jack Volleyball is over and you're an alumni and graduate and doing things later in your life, you'll always have the memory of playing here for you to recollect on. And some of us that have been around the program a long time, when we think back to various players, we have certain things we think about them. You're 9th all-time, we talked about this last year, on the assist list all-time at SFA, which is particularly impressive given that a lot of the time you've been here, it's been as a two-setter run. But aside from being on lists, how would you like to be remembered in terms of a player?
I would say just how I handle myself and how I treat my teammates outside of the actual skill. I would say that's most important to me 100%, and just like how I can lead my team and be the best example, and how I treated others and how they felt in their relationships with me. I would say that's most important, because to be honest, I feel like that's what I'm going to remember about all my teammates, is just like how much fun we had together and how much we laughed during practice and all that stuff we did on the road. And like, I'll remember the great games, but I won't remember like the random things that happened during practice that were like skill related, but it's just the relationship. So that's what I hope that everyone remembers about me the most.
The way that this sport works is that everyone except a national champion ends a season with a loss. And when we made the NCAA tournament last year and got to go play at Baylor, we finish that match and we come home and it's over in a sense. But what, now that you've had all off season, what are one or the two of the things that you remember most about that experience of playing in the NCAA tournament?
It was so cool. I just remember the excitement of finally getting there, because that is one of our biggest goals, and getting to play a school like that and just to be challenged is so fun, and to prep for that and know that like you're going up with like the best of the best. So just how much fun we had even that whole trip, and like even it really was fun just to play on that court. Like, you're playing at a Big 12 school, and obviously it didn't go how we wanted it to, but it was just fun to play together. And it's, especially for the seniors, like, you also know, like, if we don't win, this is our last game with them. So just like cherishing those moments, like the last moments I got to play with the seniors that we had that left. But yeah, that whole environment and the whole experience was amazing.
And hopefully Maddy Bourque will help us get there once again in her senior season. Interviews all season long. I'm Greg Miller. Maddy Bourque in action tomorrow. 2 games, 10 o'clock against Jackson State, who was an NIVC opponent a couple years ago, and South Alabama, who we played last year at home in our own tournament. Maddy, thanks for taking time. For those of you that haven't watched these videos, this is the first one of 2023, and we'll have player interviews like this on the road and at home all season long. So make sure and check the blog and check X, which is, Twitter, for all that good stuff. Thanks, Maddy, for the chat.
Thank you so much.